Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you for tuning into this brand new Round 2 Wrestling podcast here on the 12th of December, 2022. I, SlimmDa Kid, want to personally thank each and every one of you, the fans, for tuning into this podcast every week in 2022. You helped keep my numbers high and kept me going. So please follow us into 2023, where we will bring you more news, more rumors, and more results from the world of professional wrestling. But that is next year. Let's finish off 2022 by taking a listen to the rumor mill. Dave Meltzer noted that AEW's Adam Cole is doing much better, but still no timetable as to his return. Cole has been out since June of this year, 2022, due to a concussion. And this wasn't some namby-pamby concussion. This was a very, very serious concussion, almost one that sidelined him permanently. So this little bit of rumor is good to hear. Hopefully this turns into something a bit more factual. WrestleVotes was told WWE's upcoming card in India has been postponed for unspecific reasons. It is also rumored that this particular live event was postponed due to some sort of bidding war between two of India's top broadcasting companies for that specific country. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio mentioned AEW will probably introduce new belts next year. What these belts will look like and what sort of weight class they will cover is unknown. Fightful reports AEW has filed to trademark both Wrestle Bowl and Wrestling Bowl. We could see something from AEW come February about the Super Bowl, but in a professional wrestling manner. Dave Meltzer has claimed WWE changed its wellness policy so that talent isn't necessarily fired after a failed third drug test. The ongoing wrestling war and purposely failing or sabotage to get released early is the cause for change within WWE. On Wrestling Observer Radio, it was mentioned AEW's Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland were offered an AEW release to go back to WWE in some capacity, but ultimately both parties declined. There was no Monday Night Raw this past Monday, the 26th. WWE production staff was given time off for the holidays, and this comes from Fightful Select. Per PW Insider, NXT Tag Team Pretty Deadly to be called up to the main roster shortly. This is a particularly juicy rumor because Pretty Deadly has been making a name for themselves in NXT pretty much all of 2022. So them being boosted up to the main roster would be not so much of a surprise, but probably one that should have happened earlier rather than later. That concludes our final rumor mill of 2022. We thank you again for listening to all the what ifs in 2022. If we could go back and point out what really happened and what was rumors, we would, but we did not have the time for this specific podcast. However, we do have time for pro wrestling news. And that was not the bell, but it's good enough. Holiday weather affects everyone. WWE's Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch missed a house show due to the tour bus breaking down. Former Impact Wrestling World X Division and Digital Media Champion and free agent Rich Swann has re-signed a 2-year deal with Impact Wrestling. This is big news for Impact. Rich Swann is a big draw for this particular promotion. Hopefully they put a world title on him sooner rather than later. AAA Mexico wrestler Dragon Lee has signed with WWE and will begin training at WWE's Performance Center immediately. Sports Illustrated and Impact Wrestling confirm Impact wrestler Brian Myers has signed a contract extension through 2023. Impact did not dawdle. They re-signed several wrestlers here in the waning months of 2022 to ensure a strong 2023. AEW wrestlers Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara were stripped of their AAA Mexico mixed tag team titles due to a no-show at AAA Mexico's most recent pay-per-view, Noche de Campeones. AAA booker Conan made this announcement and move official. PW Insider reports indie wrestler Brandon Graver, aka G. Raver, has a court date set and will be arraigned next week on drug and DUI charges. Last month, Graver was found with a variety of illicit drugs, including heroin, meth, mushrooms, marijuana, etc. Graver is facing 9 possible criminal and civil charges stemming from this incident and has not been able to post bail since his arrest. All right, that is it for professional wrestling news. We have nothing else to talk about for 2022. However, we move into our third segment, which is the title matches portion of Round 2 Wrestling. In this particular section, we will give you the retainers and the winners of titles across every promotion in the world, many here in the United States. So without further ado, let's jump into title matches. There's that bell, you gotta love it. WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions, the Usos, defeated Hit Row to retain the WWE Tag Team titles. NXT North American Champion Wes Lee defeated Tony D'Angelo to retain the NXT North American Championship. AEW Women's Champion Jamie Hayter defeated Hikaru Shida to retain the AEW Women's Championship. Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena defeated Kiera Hogan to retain the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. AEW TNT Champion Samoa Joe defeated Wardlow to retain the AEW TNT Championship. Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions The Death Dolls defeated Deonna Purrazzo and Giselle Shaw to retain the Impact Knockouts Tag Team titles. New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Champion Fred Rossier defeated J.R. Kratos to retain the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Championship. MLW Women's Featherweight Champion Taya Valkyrie defeated Lady Flamer to retain the MLW Featherweight Championship. NWA TV Champion Jordan Clearwater defeated Mercurio to retain the NWA TV Championship. AAA Mexico Trio Champions NGD defeated Willie Mack, Aramis, and Mastiz Jr. to retain the AAA Trios Championship. Hermanos Lee defeated AAA Mexico Tag Team Champions FTR to become the new AAA Tag Team Champions. FTR has lost 2 out of their 3 titles within the last month. They spent most of 22 draped in gold. It looks like they're going to enter 23 with nothing. AAA Mexico Mega Champion Hijo del Vikingo defeated Bandito to retain the AAA Mega Championship. Alright, that is it for title matches here in 2022. We have nothing else to report until next year. However, we are coming up to the end of this particular broadcast, and we are going to conclude this particular Round 2 wrestling episode with a fan and producer favorite, Did You Know? Did you know are little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. Let's do this. Did you know former NXT wrestler Carmella was formerly employed as a cheerleader both for the New England Patriots and the LA Lakers? Did you know former WWF wrestler Mabel won the 1995 King of the Ring tournament and had an actual King of the Ring belt made? However, the belt never made it to WWF TV. Did you know Bret Hart is the first ever entrant in the Royal Rumble match? Did you know Glenn Jacobs wrestled in 3 straight Survivor Series pay-per-views with 3 different characters? They are Isaac Yankem back in 1995, Fake Diesel back in 1996, and his final persona, Kane, back in 1997. Did you know WWE Hall of Famer and announcer Mean Gene Okerlund has an undefeated pro wrestling record of 4 wins and 0 losses? Did you know Mike Rotunda holds the honor of wrestling the opening match at the first Saturday night's main event and the opening match at the last Saturday night's main event? Did you know the only McMahon never to hold a WWF/WWE title or wrestle in any capacity is Linda McMahon? All right, that is the conclusion of Round 2 Wrestling. I am SlimmDa Kid, and I want to personally thank you for tuning into this particular podcast and tuning in each and every week this year in the year 2022. Be sure to follow us over to next year in 2023, where I will proudly give you brand new Round 2 Wrestling podcasts every single week, and will bring you the hottest rumors, the most up-to-date news, and the most up-to-date results in the world of professional wrestling. Be sure to tune in to our Round 2 Wrestling State of the Sport special being broadcast immediately after this last episode of Round 2 Wrestling. Once again, I am SlimmDa Kid. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to tune in next year in 2023. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa Kid and Spreaker.com.